Okay, so this video is kind of a little cheat to be able to walk a little smoother and easier and not have to think so much. So we're going to use imagery. We're going to combine some elements of stability and mobility. So our stability aspect is going to be the tree. So we have to ground ourselves, root ourselves. We're going to think about back from the core, back through the hips to the heels, and then coming forward again through the tripods. Pinky toe knuckle, big toe knuckle, and then extending through the toes if you want to go that far. Spread those out, like root yourself down through your feet, but it's essentially from your butt to your heels. That's the most primary part of that, most essential. And then we have a nice tall tree trunk, so we're going to be a mighty oak tree, pointing from that core, and then we're going to open up that canopy, and we're going to maintain that for stability, okay? So if we're using our arms, reaching and such, we want to think we're branching out from there. Okay, but you always want to have your trunk over at least one leg, one root system. You got to have trunk over roots. That's crucial. Doesn't matter as much what the arms are doing, the branches, unless you're lifting really heavy in them, but your trunk needs to stay over there, because if your trunk goes over the edge, your tree's going to fall over and not, at the very least, lose its stability and strength, okay? So the other thing is the airplane wings. So we're going to be able to kind of twist, turn. So it's working on that more horizontal motion to help steer and guide things, all right? So you're going to imagine as you take a step, right, you want to steer your airplane over that front foot, okay? So that's where you imagine you can be Andy or Annie, Acorn, and you're steering your airplane, and you're going to drop these magical acorns down to the ground, which are then going to sprout up instantly into this mighty oak tree. So you're kind of planting a whole forest of oak trees. So we're steering towards that front foot, imagining that acorn right where your chest is coming down, and then sprouting up and opening up in that canopy into that mighty oak tree. So every step. So as to smooth that out, we're going to think it's almost like a chopping motion here. Not that we're going to chop down our trees here, but you're kind of coming right down towards your target, dropping that acorn, and then we're coming down here. So when you kind of synchronize and time that and start to smooth that out with a little bit of a curve, it's like this flow, almost like, you know, a musical conductor conducting an orchestra. So it's like here and here, and that's kind of our infinity sign, which is continuous, right? It's that flow towards that front foot. And then once you can really flow with that and get a sense of that down up from the hip and the leg, and that side to side from your trunk, and it all smooths out, everything just becomes really simple and easy. And that's all overlaid with the imagery of the mighty oak tree going up from those acorns and that airplane, those wings. And you can just put your hands, if you want, on your chest, like chicken wings here, but imagine you're steering that airplane from side to side, but then you can start to let those arms swing. It's not quite the branches because you're not really reaching, but I mean, you can easily extend that into reaching.